The voice in the baby monitor. I used to think those stories online were fake. The creepy baby monitor videos. The whispers. The figures standing over cribs at 3 a.m. Then my wife and I moved into the farmhouse on Marrow Hill. And I stopped laughing at them. The house itself was old but beautiful. Cheap. Too cheap, honestly, but we were desperate to get out of our apartment after our son Eli was born. 3 bedrooms. Huge backyard. Quiet area. At first, it felt perfect. Then the noises started. Not loud noises. Small ones. Footsteps upstairs when nobody was there. Doors clicking shut softly at night. The sound of someone walking across the attic. I blamed the house settling. Old homes make noise. That's what everyone says. But things got worse after we put Eli in the nursery. Every night around 2 or 3 a.m., the baby monitor would crackle with static. Then silence. Then a strange humming sound. Not electronic humming. Human humming. Slow. Off-key. Like someone trying to sing a lullaby they barely remembered. My wife heard it too. The first time, she sat straight up in bed and whispered, "Is that you?" I shook my head. The humming continued through the monitor for another 10 seconds before stopping abruptly. We rushed into Eli's room. Everything looked normal. Eli was asleep. Window closed. Closet shut. Nothing there. But the room was freezing cold. Much colder than the rest of the house. We tried changing monitors. Then Wi-Fi networks. Then batteries. Nothing helped. Every night, at nearly the exact same time, the humming returned. Eventually, we stopped talking about it. Not because we weren't scared. Because saying it out loud made it feel real. Then came the voice. I'll never forget that night. Rain hammered the roof, so hard it woke me around 2:30 a.m. Beside me, my wife was already awake staring at the monitor on the nightstand. Static hissed softly from the speaker. Then came the humming. Low. Slow. Almost gentle. And underneath it, a woman's voice. "Where is my baby?" My wife gasped. I grabbed the monitor immediately. The voice came again. Closer this time. "Give him back." Then Eli started crying upstairs. Not normal crying. Screaming. Pure terror. We ran to the nursery. The door was open. I know for a fact we left it cracked nearly shut. Inside, Eli was standing in his crib crying hysterically. And beside the crib, the rocking chair was moving. Slowly. Back and forth. Back and forth. But nobody was in it. I grabbed Eli while my wife turned on the light. The chair stopped instantly. The room fell silent. Then we heard it. A soft creak from inside the closet. The closet door slowly drifted open. Nothing inside except clothes and storage boxes. But taped to the back wall was a photograph, old and yellowed, of a woman holding a baby. Neither of us had seen it before. My wife pulled it down carefully. Written on the back were 3 words. My son, Elias. We stared at each other. Our son's name was Eli, not Elias. Still, the similarity made my stomach twist. The next morning, I asked the neighbors about the house. Most avoided the conversation completely, except an older woman who lived 2 properties down. When I mentioned the humming, her face went pale. Then I showed her the photo. She nearly dropped it. Apparently, decades earlier, a woman named Margaret lived in our house with her infant son, Elias. One winter night, the house caught fire. Margaret escaped. The baby didn't. Afterward, people claimed Margaret changed. She wandered the property at night calling for her son. A few months later, she vanished. Nobody ever found her. I wanted to leave immediately. So did my wife. But financially, we were trapped. So we stayed. And every night after that, the activity got worse. The monitor would turn on by itself. We'd hear whispering upstairs when Eli was asleep beside us downstairs. Sometimes the rocking chair moved on its own even when the nursery was empty. Then one night, Eli started talking. He was only 2 years old, barely speaking full sentences. But at breakfast one morning, he looked toward the hallway and smiled. Then he said, "The sad lady says you took me." My wife burst into tears immediately. I demanded, "What lady?" Eli pointed upstairs. "The humming lady." That same night, we decided to leave. We packed bags, loaded the car, and just before we walked out the front door, the baby monitor turned on in my wife's bag. Neither of us had touched it. Static filled the speaker. Then the woman whispered clearly, "You can leave." Long pause. Then, "But he stays." At that exact moment, Eli laughed upstairs. Not cried. Laughed. We ran to the staircase and froze. At the top of the stairs stood a woman in a burned black dress. One arm cradled something wrapped in cloth. The other rested gently on Eli's shoulder. Her face, most of it was gone. Charred skin stretched across exposed teeth. One eye hung lower than the other. But she was smiling, and Eli smiled back. Then she whispered, "There you are." The lights went out. My wife screamed. I charged upstairs blindly. By the time the lights flickered back on, they were both gone. The hallway was empty. The nursery empty. No open windows. No sounds. Nothing. We found Eli 3 hours later asleep in the attic, curled beside an old wooden cradle covered in dust, and scratched into the wall above him were the words, "He was lonely."